Hello and welcome to the One Life Church devotional series. We cover the entire Bible in 20 months. Well, today's chapters are 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and Psalm 72. Now, it's evening time here. The sun is just busy setting and there's like an eerie look to the sky. Can you see it? I can remember when I was about 12 years old, I was lying on a field and I saw the sun go blood red one night. And I'd just been taught about the return of Jesus. And I can remember jumping up thinking, this is it. And I ran into our house. Our house was about 100 meters away. I went into the house and my mom wasn't there. My dad wasn't there. They happened to be down the bottom of the garden. But I thought I'd been left behind at the return of Jesus. And it reminds me of that today when I look at the funny shadows in the sky. Now, 1 Thessalonians 5 is about the return of Jesus. In fact, it's about being ready for the return of Jesus. It says this, now, brothers and sisters, about times and dates, I do not need to write you, for you know that the Lord will come like a thief in the night when nobody's expecting him. And he says, but that's for the world. But you, verse 4, brothers and sisters, are not in darkness, that the day should surprise you. So, verse 6, so then let us not be like others who are asleep. Let's be awake. So, from now on, he says, therefore, in verse 11, therefore, this is how we ought to live. And knowing that Jesus is returning. It's one of the foundation doctrines in the Bible, that Jesus is going to wrap up Project Earth one day. And the way he's going to do it is he's going to return. And this time, not as a baby, but as a conquering king. Therefore, encourage one another and build each other up. Verse 12 says, acknowledge those who work hard among you. Live in peace with each other. Warn those who are idle. Help the weak. Be patient with everybody. Pay back nobody wrong for wrong. Strive to do what is good. Rejoice always. Pray continually. Give thanks. Do not quench the spirit. Do not treat prophecy with contempt. In other words, you should be walking with the Spirit, waiting for the return of Jesus. Remember the end of the Bible, it says, the very last chapter, and the Spirit and the bride say, come. The Holy Spirit is with us now, and he prophesies, and he speaks to us, and he guides us, and he leads us, and he says, don't treat him with contempt. Don't grieve the Holy Spirit. He says, when you see prophecy, test them and hold on to what is good. And then he ends with a prayer saying, may God himself, the God of peace, sanctify you through and through and keep you blameless. This whole chapter has been about being ready, living with the knowledge that Jesus is coming. Basically, he's saying, if you knew the thief was coming one night, you'd sleep with one eye open and you would be ready for it and it wouldn't surprise you. And so the rest of the world, it's going to be unmistakable when Jesus returns. They'll be surprised, but we don't need to be. Now, Psalm 72 is Solomon's psalm. It says at the very end there that it's, these are the words of David. He put a compilation together. This is his psalm, though. Some of David's stuff, some of his stuff. And he starts by praying that God would help him be a good king, but he winds up prophesying about Jesus. So he says this, help me be a good judge, defend the afflicted, crush the oppressors, help me live long in the land, flourish, rule from sea to sea. But then he starts to prophesy about Jesus. Listen to these words, which are strangely reminiscent of words that Isaiah and others have spoken about Jesus. May his name endure forever. May it continue as long as the sun. Then all nations will be blessed through him, and they will call him blessed. And so Solomon, without him even knowing it, starts praying for himself. But because Jesus is a descendant of David and of the lineage of David, he begins to pronounce a prophetic blessing over who Jesus will be and what Jesus will do.